Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. And in this episode of European Motors, we're going to look at this. Look at this. Lime green or dark lime green 2018 Mercedes AMG GT-R. This is a fantastic looking machine. Now, I'm not going to lie, the first Gullwing that came out, of course the classic one, right, back in the 50s and 50s, 60s, that was a wonderful, wonderful machine. I mean, that was a gorgeous, gorgeous car. And then we have the redesign coming out, I believe, in 2008. And that, to me, is more beautiful than this. But, I mean, this is still a beautiful evolution. And so what is this car going to be? Because we already have, right, a GT AMG or AMG GT. This is going to be a V8 bi-turbo, of course, because the 6.2 liter V8 is no longer in service. It's been decommissioned, which is so sad because every time I drive it, I think it's one of the most beautiful engines I've ever listened to. And yes, now we're going to have this. We're going to have a very tracked, focus-oriented car. Look at the lines. Look at the diffuser back here. Look at the wide stance in the back. This is a gnarly, gnarly car. I love the LED lights set up here. This is a lot better than a lot of the other Mercedes designs that I'm not really too fond of. I don't like the four-door C-Class. I think it's a little bit ugly. And of course, I love these front vents over here. And I think the grille is great. What I have an issue with on Benz, and let me go back to it, is the front lights. I just don't think they're really organic. I just don't like the design. They look too much like eyes, and that's a little, I don't know, it just bugs me. But I do love the grille and so forth. And so let's take a look at this car in a little more detail. Of course, people knew that this car was going to come out because, of course, everyone wants a track-centered, car, the most extreme that you can get. All right. The original GT, of course, came out 2 years ago, and this one's going to have more power, less weight, really focus on aerodynamics. Of course, this whole entire car is raced off of the GT3 race car. So what they do, they basically take the car and make it completely extreme for the racetrack. And, they put as much horses as they can and torque and all this to make it the craziest they can. And then some people say, I want that car, right? And I want this car on the road. I want this. And of course, it's illegal. You can't do that because they don't care about emissions. I mean, they do. But, I mean, there's all these things that, all these standards that they don't have to abide by. And they said, well, let's take this car and bring it to the street. And that's what they have done with the GT-R. It's hard because all these extreme cars are called the GT-R, Nissan GT-R, and there's a lot of GT-Rs. But let's look at the numbers. And of course, this car is going to be, as I said, the V8 twin turbo, 4.0 liter, no 6.2. Of course, that one's done. It's going to be 575 horsepower, 516 torque, which is pretty cool. I mean, 3.5 seconds is pretty awesome. The thing is, I always think that Benz can put out so much more power from their engines, and they just keep it really, really restricted. They're going to use a lot of aluminum and carbon fiber, of course. 3,500 pounds, fairly. I mean, these are heavy cars. I mean, we're not talking about the lightest car ever, but also, I mean, that's what they do, right? However, it says here 7-speed dual clutch transaxle, and so I really don't like Mercedes automatic transmission. I wish they would boost it up. I think it's not the best invention ever, but hopefully they're going to work on transmissions and so forth. Massive steel brakes are standard, but you'll have carbon ceramic discs as options. And look at the inside. I just want to show you the interior. Of course, very similar, but you do have all this piping here, and that's pretty cool. So what do you guys think? Are you excited for the GT-R AMG or AMG GT-R? If you are, just let me know down below. Let me know your thoughts, and I will get back to you next time with another episode from European Motors. Bye-bye.